A monumental shift is occurring in the heart of East Africa. A vast rift, known as the Rift Basin, stretches for miles, leading some to speculate that the continent is gradually dividing in two. Beneath East Africa, the Earth is pulsating with activity, poised for an irreversible transformation. Back in 2005, a series of intense earthquakes rocked the Rift Basin, followed by a volcanic explosion that signaled the beginning of an extraordinary phenomenon. The planet's crust is being pulled apart, and at the center of this upheaval lies the emergence of a new sea. Picture witnessing continents drifting apart and the terrain morphing right before your eyes. The Rift Basin serves as a living narrative of creation, where molten rock and seismic events unveil insights into our world's future. This documentary guides you through this remarkable voyage of change. Let's delve into the processes that occur when the Earth decides to reinvent itself. It's an astonishing event that feels almost instantaneous, truly something out of a blockbuster movie. But before we continue, make sure to click the like button below. Your support significantly boosts the visibility of this video. Thank you. In September 2005, a sequence of extraordinary happenings took place in the secluded Rift Basin of Ethiopia. More than 130 earthquakes rattled the region within just 1 week, each tremor delivering a crucial message from the planet's depths. For the residents, it seemed as though the ground beneath them had awakened, unpredictable, mighty, and unyielding. These seismic events were not random. They signified the Earth's crust extending and fracturing. The planet was literally tearing itself apart, with molten magma rushing into newly formed fissures. On September 26th, the volcano known as Kulu erupted. It wasn't the type of eruption that garners worldwide attention, but its specific location had significant effects. Fiery magma burst through the surface, enormous cracks split the ground, and ash filled the skies. Thousands of individuals, many of whom relied on the land for their livelihoods, were compelled to evacuate. Families lost their homes, livestock, and their sense of stability, facing an unpredictable future in a land that no longer felt secure. Take, for example, the story of Amina, a farmer from a small village near Kulu. When the eruption occurred, her crops were destroyed, and her livestock perished in the lava flows. Forced to leave her ancestral home, Amina now lives in a temporary shelter, working with local organizations to rebuild her life. Her story is one of many that illustrate the profound human impact of these geological changes. In 2005, the earth beneath Ethiopia's Rift Basin began to move in ways that seemed almost impossible. A volcanic eruption at Kulu triggered a dramatic change, tearing the landscape wide open. Over 37 miles of deep fissures marred the ground, exposing molten rock and thermal activity. Within days, entire sections of the terrain shifted through a process that typically spans millions of years, unfolding right before human eyes. Imagine the Earth itself stretching, pulling apart at its seams driven by forces deep beneath. Scientists, utilizing satellite imagery and seismic instruments, documented this rare event as the Afro and Arabian plates started to diverge. This movement fractured the crust, creating channels for magma to ascend and compelling the Earth to reveal its internal mechanisms. At the core of this transformation lies the interaction between two tectonic plates, the Afro plate drifting southeast and the Arabian plate moving northwest. Their divergence is more than a simple mechanical process. It's a ballet of immense forces driven by magma rising from deep within the Earth's mantle. This molten rock intrudes into the rift, generating pressure that pushes the plates apart, forming cracks, fissures, and fault lines. As the plates drift, the crust becomes thin, fragile, and susceptible to further splitting. What makes this phenomenon extraordinary isn't just its magnitude, it's the fact that we can witness it. In many regions around the world, tectonic changes take millions of years to become noticeable. Here, the East African Rift is vibrant with activity visible within human lifetimes. Earthquakes reverberate through the area, new fissures emerge, and volcanic eruptions mark the surface, reminding us of the immense energy operating beneath our feet. This phenomenon mirrors historical geological events, such as the formation of the Red Sea and the Atlantic Ocean. Approximately 30 million years ago, the Arabian Plate began drifting away from Africa, creating the Red Sea through similar processes of volcanic eruptions and seismic activity. Even further back, 200 million years ago, the supercontinent Gondwana split apart, giving rise to the Indian Ocean. These ancient narratives provide a context for understanding the current changes in the Rift Basin and highlight the Rift Basin's significance in the broader scope of Earth's geological history. Scientists estimate that in 5 to 10 million years, the Rift Basin will fully transform into a sea, altering the region's geography and ecosystems forever. Imagine the Afro Plate breaking away from the African continent, creating breathtaking new islands in parts of Ethiopia, Somalia, and Djibouti, surrounded by expansive blue waters. Coastlines will shift, countries like Kenya and Tanzania will gain new shores, and the landscapes we recognize today will become unrecognizably beautiful. Life will evolve with these changes. Ecosystems will adapt, species will find new habitats, and human communities will forge new connections to this emerging sea. However, this transformation will bring challenges. Communities dependent on the Rift Basin's fertile valleys and lakes will face displacement as waters encroach. Entire ways of life may need to adapt or vanish, and the human cost of such changes cannot be overlooked. Volcanic activity, already significant in the rift, may intensify, posing risks to nearby inhabitants. Eruptions could disrupt livelihoods, damage infrastructure, and necessitate evacuations. Additionally, the shifting geology may influence local climates, altering wind patterns and rainfall, which could impact agriculture and access to fresh water. To mitigate these impacts, various adaptation strategies are being implemented. Resilient infrastructure projects are being developed to withstand volcanic eruptions and earthquakes. Agricultural practices are being adapted to new climate conditions, and communities are being trained in disaster preparedness. International organizations are collaborating with local governments to provide resources and support for sustainable development, ensuring that communities can thrive despite the ongoing geological changes. The Rift Basin is not just a geological marvel, it's also a living laboratory of change. Scientists from around the world are conducting research to better understand tectonic processes, magma movement, and the formation of new sea basins. This research not only contributes to our scientific knowledge, but also aids in developing predictive models and mitigation strategies for future geological events. One of the promising aspects of the Rift Basin's transformation is its potential for geothermal energy. The abundant geothermal activity provides a sustainable energy source that can be harnessed to support local communities and reduce reliance on fossil fuels. Projects are underway to tap into this potential, offering a glimpse of how natural resources can be utilized responsibly amidst environmental changes. The East African Rift Basin exemplifies Earth's creative power and dynamic nature. It vividly demonstrates how tectonic forces continuously reshape our planet, creating and destroying in an endless cycle. The rift is a narrative of resilience, adaptation, and the unrelenting passage of time. At its core lies the Rift Basin, a region that feels like the edge of the world, a canvas where nature's forces operate in their most fundamental form. As we witness these changes, we are reminded of our connection to this planet. The Rift Basin story is our story, a tale of transformation, uncertainty, and endless possibilities. It invites us to marvel at the forces shaping our world, to respect the delicate balance of life sustained by these landscapes, and to contemplate what lies ahead for a region that holds the power to redefine the very fabric of our planet. In the East African Rift Basin, we witness not only the Earth's past but also its future unfolding inch by inch. Deep beneath East Africa's surface, a quiet yet relentless transformation is underway, a process that highlights the immense power of our planet's natural forces. The land is gradually being pulled apart, not through a sudden violent split, but through the steady drift of tectonic plates. This movement is almost imperceptible on a human timescale, yet over millions of years, it will completely reshape the region, even creating a new sea where land once existed. As we look to the future, questions arise. How will communities adapt to an environment that's perpetually changing? What opportunities might emerge from this dynamic process? And what can we learn about our own role within the ever-evolving story of our planet? The East African Rift Basin is more than just a geological phenomenon. It's a testament to the power of patience and persistence, a living example of how the world evolves in ways both dramatic and subtle. This transformation, though gradual, is unstoppable, a reminder of the forces that have shaped Earth for billions of years and will continue to do so long after we are gone. It's a story of creation, resilience, and our deep connection to a planet that's always in motion. Beneath East Africa's surface, an extraordinary transformation is quietly unfolding, a story of Earth reshaping itself inch by inch. This is the East African Rift Basin, where the land slowly tears apart, preparing to give birth to a brand new sea. It's a process so vast and patient that it humbles the mind, reminding us of Earth's unyielding rhythm over millennia. Scientists estimate that in 5 to 10 million years, this rift will fully transform into a sea, altering the region's geography and ecosystems forever. Imagine the Afro Plate breaking away from the African continent, creating breathtaking new islands in parts of Ethiopia, Somalia, and Djibouti, surrounded by expansive blue waters. This mirrors ancient tales etched in Earth's history, like Madagascar's dramatic separation from Africa millions of years ago. Coastlines will shift, countries like Kenya and Tanzania will gain new shores, and the landscapes we recognize today will become unrecognizably beautiful. Life, too, will evolve with this change. Ecosystems will adapt, species will find new habitats, and human communities will forge new connections to this emerging sea. Observing this grand transformation reminds us that Earth is alive, ever-changing, ever-creating, a timeless dance of destruction and renewal. The East African Rift Basin invites us to witness the Earth in motion, reshaping itself in ways both profound and inspiring. Beneath its surface, a quiet but powerful transformation is unfolding, echoing the birth of seas and continents millions of years ago. This is not just geology. It's the pulse of a living planet. Approximately 30 million years ago, the Arabian Plate began drifting away from Africa, creating the Red Sea. It commenced with intense volcanic eruptions and tremors, much like what we observe in East Africa today. Over time, the rift widened and magma rose to form a new ocean floor. What initially appeared as a chaotic rupture became the cradle of a new sea. Even further back, 200 million years ago, Gondwana's massive split gave rise to the Indian Ocean. This ancient narrative mirrors what East Africa might become, a place where land yields to water, transforming the continent and connecting us to the planet's timeless rhythm of change. The Earth is reshaping itself, shifting and evolving like a living, breathing entity. When continents drift apart or rifts slowly open to form vast seas, life transforms in astonishing ways. Isolated ecosystems emerge, much like Madagascar's incredible species, which evolved uniquely after separating from Africa. As seawater floods these rifts, vibrant marine worlds take root, ranging from glowing coral reefs to mysterious deep-sea realms. The land and climate respond, shaping life and redefining human existence. The East African Rift Basin is one such cradle of possibility, a place where change whispers the promise of new worlds and untold stories of life. As East Africa quietly ushers in a new sea, the very foundation of our planet is shifting beneath our feet. This transformation could bring life-saving rain to once dry lands, offering new hope for agriculture and ecosystems. But with change comes challenges. Wetter regions may dry up, and communities will have to adapt. Nature's resilience is on full display, reminding us that nothing remains the same as the Earth reshapes itself. We're witnessing a story of evolution, not just in the land but in life itself. What are your thoughts on this incredible transformation? Leave a comment below, and if this journey into Earth's future fascinated you, don't forget to hit like.
Disclaimer: this channel does not support or tolerate any form of discrimination, racism, prejudice, or violation of human rights. The stories presented here are original and created by the author with the aim of promoting reflection, awareness, and dialogue. All content is developed with respect for diversity and the dignity of all people.